Hey, welcome to the Sovereignty Sage. I'm your sage coach, Melonya Johnson. And I was away for a couple of weeks, and because there's been a lot going on, and I really didn't know what my message was going to be. So I'm here today, and this message is for Black women. We are post inauguration, we are in a different world. And I think that it's important for me as a Black woman to have a conversation with other Black women. One of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do is to take care of yourselves. We've been hearing about the 92%, right? Those people who voted for the protection of our rights. Well, I I think one of the first things that we need to do is to pause and breathe, to collect ourselves, to ground ourselves, because these times will require us to be very grounded. And whether that grounding is in a meditative practice, whether that grounding is in your faith, whether that grounding is in exercise, whether that grounding is in all of those things, right? I think this is the time that we ground ourselves, that we become intimately familiar with who we are and what our values are and the direction that we need to take ourselves, our families, and our communities. So today I'm talking to Black women. And this is unscripted. So let's see where it goes, shall we? One of the things that I would say is that you have power. One of the main powers in a capitalistic society is money. Buying power within the Black community or Black Americans is in the trillions. It's forecasted to be $1.7 trillion in spending power by the year 2030. That is the GDP of, I believe, Mexico. There's a number of cities countries I can't remember. Canada. It's quite significant. And as women are predominantly the people who control the purse strings within their households, we have a big power to where we direct that money or where we don't direct that money or how we hold on to that money. And I think it's time for us to think about those things. We live in a consumerist capitalist society. And as Black people in this country, we have always felt the need to try to up ourselves in terms of our status within society. And one of the ways that we have done that is through trying to buy the look of status. So we spend a lot of money on things that are really things that depreciate, like rims on a car and luxury cars, and wearing designer clothes that are manufactured in countries that the really mostly brown countries, right? People who are making pennies on the dollar compared to what it would cost that same manufacturer, that same brand to manufacture their products here in the United States and give United States workers jobs. And then they come back with that product that was made by the sweat of some underpaid person in another demoralized country, and then sell it to you at premium cost. And you feel that you have a status because I'm wearing some designer. You have no status as a woman in the United States. You don't have autonomy over your body. And we will see in the coming days that we will not have autonomy to be free citizens equally with rights and values as a Black person in this country. So my question is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do in a country that glorifies financial wealth, Collectively, we have a financial wealth. What are we going to do with it? So, as you are breathing, really dig into what are your values? What are your hopes for yourself? What are your hopes for your family? What are your hopes for your community? One other thing that I have to say, this message has to go beyond those folks who kind of already know this, and find the folks in your family and in your friendship line who may not know this message, and share it with them. Not because I'm looking for notoriety, because I understand that the formula that we have been following for the last 400 years has always left us in a place of always trying to survive, not thrive. And the way that things will be unfolding, that formula has not changed. But we have the power to make that change for ourselves. I think that it is very important for us as Black people to take the education of our children back into our own hands. And what do I mean by that? I mean that we cannot ask those who have oppressed us historically and continue to oppress us historically to be in charge of the education of our children. Yes, you may have to send them to school, but you must supplement their education at home. You must teach them about the history of this country, and how it has treated indigenous people of this country, and how it has treated indigenous people throughout the world, and what hands it has had in the turmoil of other countries. They must be educated as to what the system is that will always keep them thriving. I'm sorry, surviving and not thriving. And you can do that by incorporating learning in your evenings and in some of your times that you would be in front of a computer or a screen. Back when I was probably a teenager at this time. My mother and I used to listen to a radio show called The Shadow Knows, and it was a radio show that she listened to as a child. But in the TV era, it was on some AM station, and we listened to it in the evening, 7 o'clock. I sat on the floor. She was laying on her bed, and we would listen to these stories that were broadcasted in the 30s and 40s, and we would listen to them. And as a teen, and I look forward to that time. Well, now we have audiobooks. We have books that talk about our history. We have books that highlight the authors of our race, that you can listen to with your family, and set that time aside to just, you don't even have to read, because I know folks don't like to read, but you have to teach your children to read. You have to teach them how to read, and you have to teach them how to write. And don't let them fall prey to the tool of AI. Yes, it is a tool, but don't let it replace the cognitive ability of the next generation to come, nor let it take your cognitive ability. Don't let it steal your creativity. Don't look for a screen to give you all the information that you needed handed to you without thought and critical thinking. Don't be that person, because that system is creating zombies who don't think for themselves, who can be easily controlled. You must take the education of your children back into your own hands. Yes, they might have to go to a public school, or maybe they go to a private school, but supplement their education. Make them the smartest beings on this planet. Make certain that you protect your children. Keep them out of prison. Because as we deport people who have been, what's the word I'm using? Taken advantage of. See, there is a population of migrants who have been exploited by industries and companies and farmers here to use their labor and not pay them what they're worth. And now we are poised to, or this country is poised to deport them, leaving the jobs that nobody else wanted to do empty. Well, who is the next group of people? You remember Trump talking about those black jobs. Well, where are they going to get the people to replace those people? One of the easiest places to get them is from our prison system. Oh, wait, haven't we seen this movie before? Am I going to return to the fields to pick your cotton, to pick your fruits and your vegetables? And I'll do it for free because I've been imprisoned. And as a prisoner, I have no rights. Keep your children out of prison. That's your job because they will only be exploited. Take that money, that $1.7 trillion, and invest it in your own communities. Create your own economies. Support your own businesses. Support your own services. Make certain that your children are educated so that they become doctors and lawyers. So that when we go to the doctors or to a hospital system, we are not treated with inequality that means that we die at higher rates in childbirth as Black women than anybody else in this country. Make certain that they are lawyers and doctors and judges and business owners. There's always this push that, let's during the summer, let's make, put Black children into basketball camps and football camps. What percentage of those actually make it to the pros? Not a lot. Get an education. Don't be fooled by the idea that education is going the way of the dodo. It's not. Harvard will still be filled with people getting their degrees. And those are the people who will be ruling you. Get your education. Get your trades. Set up your own businesses. Support yourselves in your own community. When somebody tells you we don't want you as a part of our world and our community, understand it, hear it, believe it. That's what they've shown us all along. It is time to build your own economy. That means hold on to your coins. That means invest them. I'm going to be leaving Facebook. I've already signed up for Fanbase, which is owned by Isaac Hayes III. Isaac Hayes was a musician, a prominent musician. He was a chef in what is that? South Park, if you like cartoons, right? But his son has created their own, I think it's been around since 2018, their own social media platform. They also are looking for investors for that. They are growing and doing an investor push. So you could possibly get in on the ground floor of something that could grow to be the size of a Facebook. But Facebook has already said that we're not interested in protecting the rights of our of those from marginalized communities. They've gotten rid of their DEI and kissed the boot. Well, understand this. Facebook was never about socializing. It was always about mining you for data. You were always a commodity in Facebook. And it was about building addictive behaviors that kept you coming back and scrolling hour after hour, giving your data away and being propagated with endless ads to make you consume. As Black women, we've got to stop consuming and only consume those things that are necessary, not all the things that we want, but Embrace the minimalist mindset. Your joy, your status does not come in the things that you own. So I'm going to keep this message short and sweet. Please share it. Again, I'm not trying to become infamous on my own. I am an introvert and I like to be in the shadows, but I only have a few tools to use. And one is my voice, and the other is my intellect. And that's why I'm here talking to you. Follow me on YouTube because this is where I really want this channel to grow. I want to take this off of Facebook. I'm one person and not supporting Amazon, right? And if you've got trucks always coming to your door for Amazon, understand who Jeff Bezos is. He's a billionaire who didn't support Kamala Harris. He and even though the endorsement was ready to go at the last minute, he said no, right? But yet and still, we have become the slave to Amazon, and what does that do? That closes out local commerce, right? So you're not going to have the array of stores locally. You're always so understand this. It's the consolidation of economies and power. So Amazon wants to be everything for you. Remember, it started out as a bookseller. Now we depend on it for everything. I don't know how I'm going to give up Alexa. I love Alexa. But that's a part of all of that. You can get your prescriptions from there. You can get your food from there. You can just live the Amazon life. Huh. Imagine. It's already happening. A few people own all of the wealth. Build your own economy. Educate your own children. Take money out of the economy. If people cannot respect and support you, they don't deserve your money. I'm going to stop. Today's quote. Ah, before I do that, let me talk about my mental fitness program. At this time in our history, I think protecting our mental health is monumental. I run a 6-week mental fitness program. It's an amazing app. There's a weekly coaching session, which I host, a co-host of 5. I'm still looking for 5 participants. There's a digital copy of the best-selling book, Positive Intelligence by Shirzad Chamine, who is the founder of this. This program helps you to identify the things that are sabotaging you, stealing your happiness, draining your resilience, keeping you enslaved mentally. So if you're interested in this, please visit my company, Be Smart Coaching, www.besmartcoaching.com to learn more about this offer. I love the program. I do it myself. Mental well-being is everything, and it's going to be very important in the times to come. Today's quote: I will not support a business that does not support my right to exist freely or does not insist on a society that supports my well-being. Melonya Johnson. That's me. That's my quote, and I'm standing by it. So, in terms of where we need to go and what we need to do, we need to find organizations. This is a collective conversation that I always like to turn the lens to, right? We just talked about the individual sovereignty and what you need to do to protect yourself, to protect your family, and to protect your community, and to build an economy that supports you. Now, let's see, what organizations do you need to join so that you can be a part of a larger collective that has bargaining power? Do your homework. Start local, state, national, international. So that being said, I wish you all the best. Thank you for tuning in to me. Like, subscribe, set the notification button so that you know when I go live on YouTube, you can either stream it live or watch it later. I'm moving off of Facebook. I'm only going to do a couple more podcasts on Facebook, but or actually upload it to Facebook. So please follow me and share this with someone, even if you have to sit there with them and watch it and have a conversation. Share it with somebody who's not privy to the information that they're going to need to protect themselves, protect their families, and to protect their communities. The goal is not just to survive, it is to thrive. Take care of your mental health, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week.